guys, Twig here. Today I'm going to be reviewing actually a new card game that I've been playing. I'm really excited to talk about it. It's called Gods Unchained. Now, it's not set to open until the end of this year, close to October, I believe. And it's currently in beta as of right now, so you do need a beta key to play if you're looking to play right now. And before I even start talking about the beta keys and whatnot, I'll get to that in a couple minutes. I'm going to be giving you my general opinion of the game, my overall experience from a beginner's perspective. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I'm a veteran or that I've been playing this game since the beginning of beta, because I'm not. I'm just going to be going over what it's like for someone who's just joined the game, who's looking to get into this game, and just my overall experience. So with that out of the way, if you are looking for a beta key to start playing this game, I'll be more than happy to provide one if you want to DM me, or you can easily find one on the Reddit forum of Gods Unchained or in the Discord server. I'm sure someone will be able to supply one to you, or any kind of gaming forum that has Gods Unchained involved. I'm sure you can even add them on Twitter, but if you're looking to play this game, just shoot me a DM and I'll be more than happy to send you a referral link. So once you got your beta key from the referral link, you can go to the Gods Unchained website, which you can download the program called Apollo, which is used to launch this game. It's the program which Gods Unchained runs off of. But once you launch Apollo, you could log in with your credentials and you'll be brought to the main hub, which looks like this. So, once you're at the main screen of Gods Unchained, it's simply going to look like this. It's pretty straightforward, pretty basic. I mean, it's nothing too extravagant, nothing too flashy. On my first, to be honest, my first playthrough this, I was definitely confused of how to get into the different game modes, because, I mean, they're hidden behind here. That's where the game modes are. You click these things here, and it reveals the different game modes. I can actually see people getting confused of where the game modes are, because it can be kind of confusing for someone who's just starting this kind of game. I'm sure they will fix the layout or have it rearranged somehow, but yeah, they are stacked behind each other. And I'm going to go over what game modes there are available as of right now. There are 4 game modes. There are Quick Sealed, which is building a deck from 50 cards that are built with, built from cards that are opened from random packs. A solo, which is you playing against the AI, the computer, where people, practice. I've yet to play this mode, actually. Ranked Constructed, which is just the ranked version of Quick Sealed. And then there is Regular Constructed, where you are playing with a deck from cards that you have gotten from leveling up, so your core cards, or cards that you have purchased. In this mode, there is definitely a lot more polished decks that you'll be playing against, and a lot more fun kind of decks that you'll be playing against. A lot of different cards you'll see in this mode here. A lot more meta decks, if I could say so myself. If we look up here, this is the tab. There's different tabs of things. Arena is the main hub. Temple, this is where all your packs are held. So if you're opening a new pack, you'd click here, and you'd show you basically how many packs are remaining. There's 23 packs for myself. Inventory is a list of the cards that you have. Boards, emotes, trinkets, those are not yet implemented yet. Workshop is a review of what decks you have. You can create a new deck here. Store is basically takes you to the Gods Unchained website where you can purchase cards, and then Raffle is the collection of where your tokens are that you obtain from sharing a referral link with people, and that you get naturally from playing and winning games, which I think is pretty cool, because if you can trade in these tokens and get rewards back from them just from playing the game itself. Also, some cool helpful resources down here where you can see the different kind of meta decks or different kind of decks that people have tried or that you want to try on these web pages. So I like how they actually have help implemented on the actual UI. Now, if I go back to the main screen here, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. There is no friends list implemented yet into the game. I think that's something that they'll be adding in the future as well too. So, yeah, that is the UI. Second thing I want to talk about actually is the community. Now, community is very important to me. I find in any game basically. The Gods Unchained community, if I could sum it up, I think the Gods Unchained community is awesome. Hands down awesome. From my experience from the past 3-4 days that I've been playing this game, they've been very helpful to me. I've been streaming this game every day since I've started, and I've had several people come into my channel and offer their help with creating a deck, telling me about what are the meta decks, telling me about the cards, just telling me about the love for this game. And I like that. I like hearing people's love for this game. I love interacting with people from this game. I love how helpful they are, and they're not afraid to tell me their ideas. And I think that's something we need more in games itself. And I like that people here are willing to help each other. There's no animosity, there's no bad vibes. I get really good vibes from the community itself. Right now, there isn't, I would say, like a main kind of hub or forum for Gods Unchained, but I know they do have a Reddit forum for Gods Unchained, and they have a Discord server where most people go to talk and discuss about the game. And yeah, I'm sure they're going to have something in the future for the community itself, an official kind of forum board, perhaps. As well, I don't know if this would be community related, but something I think is very neat is the fact I know they host daily tournaments on the weekends. So they have weekend tournaments, which I think is very cool. There's a leaderboard that's based off of wins, and I think that's something that helps bring the community together because it brings that competitive drive. Next thing I want to talk about is the cards itself. So the cards itself from this game, I think, are very unique. So what Gods Unchained has done with these cards is that when you open packs, these cards are unique to you, meaning that you own these cards. When you open a pack, each card has a little, like, how do I say this? Like, they have their own identity, like a little SKU code almost. And these cards belong uniquely to you because you own them and you've purchased them. You purchase these cards with real money or with the currency that Gods Unchained runs off of, which is Ethereum. And I like the idea of that. I like that you digitally own these cards if you buy them. I like the fact that they've done this. I could actually see the future of card games to be going in this direction, and I like that they are one of the first to do it, and I think that is so cool. It's very neat. But besides that, the next thing I want to talk about with the cards is that not only are these cards unique to you, that you don't need to necessarily buy cards to be competitive in this game. You get the core cards just from leveling up. I believe there's about 180 cards right now that you get just from leveling up, and they're all pretty competitive cards that you can build a deck around. And yeah, you don't need to buy cards to have a competitive edge. Buying the cards is just an added bonus. You can basically just build a deck right away if you want from the starter deck that you get, or just by getting the core cards from leveling up. So once again, buying cards is optional. You don't need to necessarily have those cards bought to have a competitive edge. I know they've just released their first set called the Genesis set that just came out a little while ago, and I know a lot of the cards there are going for a lot. So I mean, if you're into that, I mean, if you're looking at reselling these cards, definitely give that a shot. Buy the packs, collect them. There's different packs you can buy, each with different rarity chances, but I'm not here to talk about the packs themselves. I'm just here to talk about my general experience with the game. The cards too, actually, the dueling aspect of things, I find it to be pretty neat. I mean, I like the fact that there are plenty of effects in this game. It actually is really, really interesting because every time I think that I know I've learned something, I've learned everything about this game, the next day I'm learning something again, the next minute I'm learning something again, the next hour I'm learning something again. I'm learning all these different effects that each card does, and it just brings more strategy to the table. You know, there's an effect that these cards have called backline, which I think is really cool. I've never seen it in a card game before. So what backline essentially is, it gives this creature untargetability until all the other creatures on your board are destroyed. So it's a late game monster, or even early game tempo. You know, the backline cards usually have a secondary or third effect stacked onto them, so it's detrimental that you get rid of all the other cards on your opponent's field to get rid of this card. It's a high priority target, and playing around backline definitely brings more strategy to the game. Another cool effect is something called sleep, where you play a card, you can cast sleep on a single creature, multiple creatures. The sleep effect itself makes it so your creatures can't attack the next turn, and I think that's pretty neat. You got to play around sleep. There's so many different effects that these cards have that I think that brings strategy to the table, and they synergize so well with each god and god power that I'll be getting into in a second, that there's so many decks that you can create from your imagination. And I think that definitely brings a competitive edge to the card game scene, as long as a fun, casual playing style as well too. And I like that there's so many options that you can pick from. You know, sky's the limit. So when you actually are in a physical game, it's going to look different because you're going to be in something called an arena. Now, for the sake of this game, or the sake of explaining things, I'll just get into a game quickly here. I'm just going to mute this volume. So I should start by saying that when you choose a mode, let's say draft for example, you can pick a hero, or a god, sorry. There are, I believe, 6 different gods right now, correct me if I'm wrong, and each god has a unique power to them. They have 4 different powers, as you can see here. You can choose one at the start of each duel. I will choose this right here and confirm. And with each god has a god power corresponding to the theme of their character. And as well as that, they also have cards that correspond with the theme of their character. I like the idea of this. I like the idea of that you get to choose one of 4 god powers. You know, a lot of card games have like one power that you're stuck with. This game gives you choices, give you 4 different choices to be exact. And you know, the fact that it gives you that many options just means that there's so many different ways that you can synchronize your cards with your deck. Or if you're versing someone, it's just gonna, it brings a lot of different strategy. So this is what the main screen looks like when you're dueling somebody. Obviously, I wasn't able to get into that thing there or explain that you can pick which cards you want to throw back into your deck in the beginning after choosing a god power, and it gives you back the same amount of cards that you discarded if you decide that you want to toss your hand and exchange it for different cards. So at the start of the game, you're given this thing, small bag of tricks. So what it does, it refills one mana gem. These are the mana gems. There's 9 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And every turn you're going to be spending mana to play a card, which is indicated here on the top left. Now, these little nods here basically indicate a lock on the mana. The locks represent the amount of turns that you have to wait until that mana is unlocked. You could unlock the mana by playing a card like this or other cards that unlock the mana for you, so it makes things quicker. You can also use them here if you want to gain extra mana. Now, if you're going first, you get only 1 small bag of tricks. If you're going second, you get 3 small bag of tricks. And actually, I think that's very strong right now. I can foresee them narrowing it down to 2, just because I feel like 3 is quite a lot. It can definitely turn the tempo of the game, especially if you play a low mana deck. But at the start of every turn, if you go first, you get 1, and then if you go second, you get 3 of these, which is refreshed every time you use it on the next turn, up to 3 times. Now, something I feel like can be confusing for new players is this interface here. So, where's the graveyard? Tell me, where do you think the graveyard is? So the graveyard is actually right here. So something I feel like this game should work on is maybe having a tutorial kind of section, maybe before you're actually launched into the game. I feel like they should put you through a tutorial match where you have to maybe defeat each god to earn that deck, and explain basically the interface of the arena and what each card does, or what each god specializes in, their hero powers, what they do, something like that, just something basic before you get launched into the actual game itself. Because right now when you get into the game, I mean, you can jump right into a game and you could be easily confused on what to do. If you click this, it shows your opponent's void, which is also known as the graveyard, and it indicates what cards they've played. Obviously, this A has not played, or I guess what cards are in the graveyard. I haven't killed anything on my opponent's field, so nothing is in this graveyard yet, but that is where all the cards are kept when they are discarded or destroyed. To end your turn, you click this little notch here, which indicates that it's my enemy's turn, and when he's done, he will click that back to me. Something I also feel like they need to work on is this hero power thing. Clicking this sometimes is unresponsive. So sometimes I'm sitting there wondering if I even hit it at all. You can click it and maybe showing that you've actually activated this thing, your god power. And yeah, so that's what I feel like they can work on a little bit. Sometimes, I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but the portraits don't load in properly, or players just not loading in properly. I mean, that could just be a connection thing, not necessarily the game itself, but I have had issues personally with, other players not loading in and portraits not loading in correctly. But, that could just be server side. As far as interface goes, the god power can be fixed better. A tutorial about where things are, such as the graveyard or where to end your turn, and maybe explaining what these locks on the mana are. The main concept, obviously, is to reduce your opponent's health to 0. Mine is at 20. Yours is at 30 right now. And as you can see here, I have a whole blimey amount of cards. So this is another cool effect ward. I was going to say too, another interesting thing that I like about this game, besides the talking about the user interface, is the card interface. I really like the character cards interfaces, because they do a good job at explaining what each effect has. A lot of these cards have different effects. For instance, this has something called Ward, and if you look at the right side of it, it explains what that effect does. So I like how visually pleasing it is to the eyes. I like how it's easy and simplified to read, to know what each card does, so you're not wondering what the hell is Ward. You don't have to Google it in the middle of your game or go on your phone and try to figure out what each card does. They tell you right beside the text box on either the left or right hand side of the card. So that's pretty neat. So I was talking about sleep earlier. It says here, sleeping character misses its next opportunity. Roar is another effect. It triggers when you play the card, meaning that if you're playing a card for the first time and it's getting onto the field, Roar basically gives that effect to another card on the field. Just plenty of different effects that each card has, and I like the fact that they tell you what each effect does on the actual card itself. The thing that I can talk about is that you can see your opponent's name here, their level. Your name is here and your level, in case you're wondering who you're dueling, and not just some bot. But if you're interested in seeing who you're playing against, you can see here in the top left corner. And if you for some reason forgot your own name and who you are, you can just highlight yourself on the bottom left hand side here, and that is you, Twig. You are Twig. Something I think that they should incorporate too as well, that I think would be pretty interesting, is maybe like, are we able to talk in this game while you're dueling him? I think that'd be pretty cool. I would like to be given the chance to talk to my opponent during the match. I mean, not everyone would like that. Some people just want to play the game and not necessarily talk to the person they're versing. But I think an option of having a little dialogue box where you can talk to your opponent would be neat, even if it's just maybe like a lobby before you get into the actual game, or after the game even, so you guys can discuss about the duel. I think that'd be pretty interesting interaction to have. Another thing also that I can feel that they can incorporate would be maybe a game recording system built into the game, where you can look past, or where you can look into your past games and you can review them and see how you played, instead of having to record your duels through a third-party application. Maybe if it was built into this game, that'd be pretty neat too. And another cool thing that I think they should incorporate would be, I think they actually are working on this, is a in-market system where you can trade cards or purchase cards. I know they might be working on the purchase cards one, but I think it'd be pretty awesome if you can trade cards too. Because imagine you're looking for one specific card, you could someone's looking for a certain amount, 6 of one different card, 3 copies of one different card. You can trade those 3 copies for that one card, and you can arrange a trade. I think that'd be pretty interesting, a trading card system. Not necessarily a market where you can purchase things, but a trading system would be neat. Just a lot of fun, various different things to have that I think they can incorporate. Now, at the end of the match, you're giving XP. And obviously, the higher the level you are, the more XP you need. As you level up, you get core cards. And yeah, we'll just click continue on that. I feel like this game gives me a lot of nostalgia. If you're, this game gives me a lot of nostalgia back when I used to play card games back in the day, MTG. Played Yu-Gi-Oh. I played several card games growing up. Recently, I've been playing Hearthstone. Now I'm playing Gods Unchained. So, I mean, if you're back into MTG back in the day, or even Yu-Gi-Oh, I mean, this game gives me MTG vibes straight up. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this game is, if MTG was to have a baby with Hearthstone, this would be the game. They named their child Zeus. They gave a card to Zeus and asked him what they want the card game to be called, and he said Gods Unchained. This is what this game is. I think this game has a lot of potential to grow into something big. And my honest opinion, I do enjoy this game. I enjoy playing it. It's still in beta, so there are still a lot of things that they need to fix, like the player connection. Sometimes the servers crash. The interface can be kind of buggy sometimes. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Sometimes you have to make your deck multiple times when you're drafting for some reason, and then you exit it and enter it again, and then you'll have your previous deck that you made from 2 hours ago. It's confusing, So tutorials, the layout, those kinds of things. I mean, those things could all be fixed. They all can be fine-tuned. There's still time, and I believe that they're going to do something amazing here. I like this game a lot. I love it. I love playing this game. I think it has room for a lot of growth, and I think it's going to be quite successful. I'm looking to continue playing this game a lot more in the future, and I think in the years to come, it is going to be something great. Now, if you are an MTG fan, like I said, or Hearthstone fan, or just a card game fan in general, this game will cater to those needs and give you a lot of nostalgic vibes, while still maintaining its own identity and its own appearance. I think this game is unique in its own right, and it'll continue to push into the right direction that it needs to be in, to be unique and to continue to grow to something big. I definitely would recommend this game if you're into card games or looking to get into card games. And I give it out of 10 a solid 8.5 out of 10. And I can say with my full confidence that the more I play this game, that it's growing on me, and I probably am going to be giving it a 10 out of 10 soon once they refine everything and I play a little bit more. So that's my review of this game. If you want to give it a try, definitely give me a shout. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, DM me, comment down below. You can add me on my Twitter, or you could shoot me a message on Instagram, or if you just want to talk, drop in by my channel and come say hi. I'll be more than happy to discuss that. I'm sure there's a lot of different or other things that I've missed that could need a little bit more tweaking. I'll leave that in the comments. I'll leave that in the description below or in my next video. But yeah, definitely give this a try. It won't hurt. It doesn't take long to download this game, and I definitely would recommend this game to y'all. Give it a shot. It doesn't hurt to give this game a try. Play it for a couple hours. Tell me what you think. It's Twig, and I'm out.